everybody. Welcome back. For a little bit, had some issues, system stuff, equipment issues on my end. Steering wheel was giving me issues. Mic was giving me issues. Was going through some graphics driver stuff too, whatever. So it's been a little bit since I've raced, since I got anything, and daughter was having a little bit of issues this week too, so I had to focus on that. So back in it, rookie Mazda here from Virginia. National Raceway. We are on the north layout, qualified third as car number 1, just caught a split. So a little bit of a weaker field and not the best situation for me in terms of wanting to gain iRating, but we'll get through it. Just gotta make it through the first lap. That's where I feel the least confident. I still not crazy confident with this track compared to some of the other ones. I still have issues at times making dumb mistakes. But here, cold tires is like a death wish for me. Not good at it, so get ready to roll off, see what we can do.
15 laps. Okay, Jake, get ready.
Wait for the green lights.
Green, green, green.
And too much tire spin. Should have been a better start, but too much tire spin. 5 makes the hard cut to the inside to protect the inside line. So we go into 1. Just gonna watch and see if everybody treats this smartly. 5. Kind of did more than I wanted, so now I've got the 8 pulling to my inside. The 3 is going to lose it. He's going to go off the track. The 8's going to single-handedly try to take the lead on the outside of the 5. He backs out. We're just going to let him go. I'm not going to try to challenge. Rather just get sorted out. The 10's flying up behind me, so we're going to see what happens there. Yes, the 8 does jump to the lead now over the 5. I can stay close. Hopefully be able to pick up a spot or two before the end of this. 15 laps feels like kind of a long race in a way. I don't know. I know timing-wise it's probably about the same as the other ones. It just feels a little bit longer for some reason this week. 5 sent it wide. That was not a great passing opportunity. I feel like there's really only a few spots on the track that are good spots to try to pass, so just have to stick close. And with the length of the front stretch, the draft definitely will be a thing. Have to watch for the 8 as he sent it a bit wide there. Sometimes if you dip your car off the track, you can have issues. Kinda like what the 5's doing. Alright, there's second. 10's trying to look to my inside. Just give it to him. Let him go in turn 1. Oh, now he's gonna go to the left side. Draft definitely does come into play down the front stretch at least. If you can get around here fast this week, you will definitely learn car control and slip angles, for sure. That seems to be a big key. Weight transfer, slip angles are big key in maintaining fast lap times. As well as not doing what I did, apexing too early and having to lift, because that kills your momentum. Trying to rebound to go after the 8. Biggest goal for me would be to get out of this with a 0x to just start driving road racing like I should be, not like I have been in the past. So I feel like if I can start doing that and continuing to turn faster lap times, that means I'm learning how to control the car. You can turn quick laps without having complete control of the car if you don't respect track limits. And we're going to do the same thing again. Apex too early. So I had to lift there. Let's the 8 get away a little bit. We got a nice gap back to the 10. 8's trying to break the gap, or the draft. And just stay close to him, we'll be okay. Plenty of laps to go. Watch for him to overdrive turn 1 here. At some point he will. You see the difference that time when I didn't have to lift through that corner how much more momentum I carried. Same thing will apply to ovals as well. These lower speed, lower horsepower cars, you really got to keep the momentum up. Once you get in the throttle, you got to stay in it as much as you possibly can. He's definitely getting himself a little loose, so could end up heating up the tires up a bit more, which could potentially cause him to have to change braking points or risk going off track. So if I could just stick close, maybe force him into a mistake, it'll be good for me, as long as I don't do the same thing. And I don't have to worry about pressure from behind. That bump has always scared me. You can see how much more momentum I'm carrying. Same thing there when I didn't have to lift. Let's go put the pressure on him. I'm in a happy spot right now. Actually, we'll make the move.
You've just done a 137.20. That's a new fastest lap for Santo.
I don't know if he started hitting the brake early or what he did. I did not expect him to slow down like that, so I will gladly take the opportunity to grab the lead. He'll have the draft, so I'm hoping he'll make a mistake at some point that I can try to pull away. Apex too early again. Hoping I can get to like half a second to 7/10 out before we get back to the front stretch, which will allow me to not really have him feel much of the effects of the draft. Not that it's earth-shattering that I'm running first, I'm supposed to. I know the fast guys can run through this series of corners wide open. Just for my comfort, I lift just a little bit, kind of help settle the car in. Yeah, botched that corner up. Closes back up a little bit.
The gap behind is now 0.8.
Right. 0.8 coming out of the last corner on the front stretch. I'm happy with that. Somewhat even gaps back to the 9 and the 10. 9 was able to get by the 10, so it's a third. Time to just start clicking off consistent laps. No mistakes.
New fastest lap for Brand, 136.83.
I think we'll be able to click off quicker lap times, be a little more comparable to what the 9 and the 10's doing. So I was always sitting behind the 8 before. Had to kind of back up braking points and everything to stay off of them. Hoping he'll block a little bit, maybe hold him up a little bit, kind of build up a lead for me. Although when we come across the line, we're still going to have 10 to go. So, still plenty of race left to be decided. This is the track where I feel like you're really racing the track, not so much the cars around you. Not a great entry there in the last corner. Threw a ton of time away. I'll fix it. It feels kind of like the road version of Darlington in a sense that I'm racing the track more than I'm racing the cars. Whoever makes the least mistakes with the track is going to put themselves in the best position.
Fastest lap for Brand, 136.77.
8 definitely looks like he's driving in deeper into turn 1. We got a car off, I think, behind. 9 and the 10 both involved. 8 really picked up a ton of time on me that corner. And I did not quite set myself up well through there, so I'm going to have to lift. Just going to allow the 8 back in. 7 and the 11 both clicking off quick times behind me. I really messed this lap up. At least was able to pull away a little bit from the 8 there. I didn't see if he just slowed down more or if he had a mistake. Really trying to do my best to learn how to carry as much momentum, pick up the throttle as early as possible. It's always seemed to be something that wasn't as good compared to other drivers. A little too much of a slide that time. Yeah, the 7 might be the fastest car, so we might have a problem there. Because he looks like he's catching the 8, no issues, and probably get by him fairly quick. And we've still got more than half the race to go. Like, that's not looking good for me. At all. Really got to pick up the pace big time. No mistakes.
The car behind is reeling you in. The gap is now 0.41.
Strength of field that it is, there's some guys that are driving really well, or I'm just really bad. I easily could be the answer. I feel like I apexed that too early as well. Yeah, I think the 8 made a mistake the last time through that corner because he stayed a lot closer this time. But you guys are going to get a race. That is for sure. I felt like I ran that a lot better that time. The 8 screwed it up, so the 7's gonna get by him, so the 7's free and clear to get to us. He'll probably be here in like a lap. Maybe 2. Depending on how quickly he catches, I might just be smart and yield it to him if there's enough of a gap back to the 8. I'd rather finish second than potentially go further back. As I completely missed my shift. I don't know why I didn't go down to first there. Fundamentals, bud. Fundamentals. Over-rotated on entry there. Had to save it. Didn't help that I gave the 7 all the time he needed. I need a mistake in the worst way possible. Or the 8 to overdrive and take on the 7. Not that I ever want anybody wrecked, but I would be okay with it right now. We're still going to have 7 laps to go when we cross the line, so plenty of race left to decide this. Yeah, the 7's going to have a massive advantage into 1, and the 8's going to be right behind him. There's nothing I can do about this one. He was way quicker than me, and I threw everything away on this lap, so we're just going to try to guard the inside. That's the only thing I can do, but he's going to pull away like it's nothing. So the smart move will be to brake a little bit early, let him go, and see if we can try to stay in front of the 8. Hold down second.
Alright, Jake, you're halfway home. Your fuel is fine. P2.
He's not going to be as aggressive as I thought he would be.
6-1.
We're going to let him go because the outside's not the place I want to be there. A little bit of contact with the 8. At least he's been very respectful. Alright, so wind's out the window because the 7's going to be gone. But not going to give up. I'll go after him. 3's quick. he might get here as well. All I have to do is just hope that the 7 makes a mistake. That's the best thing I can do. Not crazy worried about the 8. So keep an eye on him out back, but just gonna focus, hitting my marks, hitting my lines, trying to hang with the 7 if possible. So wait, if he somehow does make a mistake, I can take advantage of it and get back to the lead. If not, second won't be the worst place. And it will technically have been one spot better than where I qualified, which I can't complain about either.
Now 1.0 seconds.
Just a great job by the 7. Went to school, really learned how to drive this.
The gap behind is now 0.8. Sector 1 is 1.1 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.30 off the pace. Sector 3 is 0.37 off the pace.
Probably should be upshifting to 3rd, but trying to reduce the variables that I can, things that I can mess up. Guess the 7's probably the fastest one on the track right now. Consistently, at least. 8 made a really good corner. I overshot that corner. It's the 7 to pull away. That's the mistake he needed. Trying to do what I can to close up to him. If he'll get lucky and he'll cut a corner and have to do like a slowdown or something dumb. Not likely, but hey, 5 laps left, anything could happen. It is the rookies. They are the most unpredictable series.
157.54.
Losing so much time out of 1. Try a shift, see if we can pick up anything. I know the fast guys have also been using first gear, getting into this section to help it rotate a little bit more. I'm not quite good enough at being able to do that without unsettling the car too much, so I choose to stay in second to give up a 10th or 2, but run way less risk of losing the car and spinning out. Last time by 3 was quicker, but not enough to get to me. I overshot that corner, so we give up a bunch of time there. And overshot this corner, so got a lift. There it goes. Unforced errors. That is the name of this race for me. Not that second place is bad to be running in, just stupid things I know I can control. Which is what's more frustrating to me than getting taken out or put in a situation that you couldn't control. I also gotta remember, it's still road racing, I'm not great at it, so it's still all big learning experiences every time I'm out on the track. It's just why I still do the rookies. Because they provide great teaching for me. Good on the 7. He clicked off his fastest lap of the race the last time by, so he's doing everything right. The 8's hanging better than I thought. I mean, he's a little bit back, but he's not falling off at all. Let's see if I can hit these corners this time. It's a little better. Not great, but a little bit better. Lost time, not quite as much as the last lap, so small improvements. 3 to go once we cross the line.
That lap was a 1:37.41.
Basically matching lap times with the 7. So, more laps that we do that, and more laps he's faster, the better it is for him. So it means it's way more time that I'd have to make up each lap, which, again, unless he makes some unforced error, does not seem likely. Trying to do what I can. Of course, I'm going to end up in a battle because the 8's catching me. So he was 2/10 quicker the last time by. Seven's pulled away. Trying to use a little throttle to see if I can get away from the 8, because I really would like to hang on to second. Still losing time in that corner. It's better than the last lap, but still losing time. 2 to go. 2 laps to hang on. Looking decent for a podium, as long as I don't get wrecked. Or wreck myself. I don't know about
Keep it together.
second
We'll
at this point.
The guy behind has just done a 1:36.94.
It's more about defensive driving against the 8 now than it is trying to run the fastest lines to get to the 7. Yeah, terrible line through that corner. Sets me up bad here. Just going to draw the 8 even closer. Hopefully this is a section that's a little bit harder to pass in. But he's going to look inside, makes contact. Kind of left the door open and kind of shut it. Which is why he's not apologizing for that one. That one was more on me. It's also backed him up a little bit, so buys me a tiny bit of breathing room. Let's take a look at how bad I blocked him there after the race. Just trying to keep the car settled. Gotta hang on it for a little more than a lap. Alright, let's see what we can do here for this last lap.
Okay, Jake, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium.
There goes the 8 dive. We're just going to hope that he does that. That was all I could do against that, was hope that he had just overshot the corner, which he did. When I saw him look to the right like that, I knew he was going to try to dive it in, so just had to hope that it was going to be an overshoot. If he made it stick, then he made the move of the race. And at this point, since I had to lay off, it cost me all that time into the 7. I'm just running like 85% now to get away clean. Because we've got 2.5 seconds back to the 8. There's no reason to push, wreck, and give up second at this point when I've got it pretty much on lockdown. At this point, there's not much of a difference between losing by 2 seconds to the 7 and losing by 3 seconds. It's the same thing. I know that was a tactical move on my part in the 1. It's the kind of racecraft and foresight that I'm trying to improve on, to be able to read drivers a little bit more, see what I think they're actually going to do, and then adjust to it before they make the move. So I'm still one step ahead. It's like defensive driving without actually like throwing the block or putting yourself in a bad spot to get wrecked.
You're reeling.
Alright, well, plenty to work on.
2.6.
Definitely. I don't know, I mean, decent race in the fact that I had a 0x, we had a little bit of tiny contact with the 8. Just a lot of small unforced errors that added up, I think. But
We're on the podium. Good drive.
hey, I'll take second. Again, one spot better than where I started, so I was happy with how I read that last lap against the 8. So get the overlay off. Take a look at car contact with the 8. Trying to remember where all of it was. Let's see what actually happened with that start. So the 3, I think it was. Did a good job rebounding because I think he finished 4th. Yeah. He's going into turn 1, taking the inside line, trying to defend against it. I just pushed and then got into a slide with too much throttle. Couldn't hold it off. Let's see. Contact with the 8 was where? I think this was who up ahead? 5. That's right. He just got himself there. As soon as you get off the track, then it sends you. 8's not completely happy with me, I guess. Alright, trying to figure out where we made that contact. Let's see, somewhere up here. Now pulled away. Alright, so I think it might have been this lap. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look. So we're getting the 7 by. 7's on the left-hand side. This is coming out of turn 1. I'm going to be going into 2 and 3. Side by side with the 7, then I choose to back off, let him go. The 8, I don't know. I probably broke a little bit more than he expected since I was trying to fall in behind the 7, and that's why he got into my left rear. And let's look at the 8's deal here. Alright, so we'll look at it from the 8's perspective. Come here into these corners. I mean, he's got the run. Trying to hold as straight a line as I can. I don't know, that one's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought I threw it like... I mean, there's a lane there, but it's clear that I was already kind of pointing my car this way. Like, it's not like I made an aggressive turn to the right. My car was already kind of headed on this line. So he's trying to look to the right-hand side. I guess technically he's to my right rear tire, but not really, to be honest. And kind of turns left, come across. I don't know. I don't feel quite as bad about that one as I thought. I thought I might have thrown a little bit more of a lane change, line change, block kind of thing, but I don't really feel terrible about that one. You guys can tell me from the road racing standards if that was a bad block on my part, if I should have yielded that right side lane, or if he wasn't quite there to have that position. I don't feel terrible about that. And then we'll fast forward to going into turn 1 when he's just going to overshoot it. So he wasn't quite as close as I thought, coming down the front stretch across start finish line, but I could tell he had the run, and I knew he was going to look aggressive. As soon as he made that move right there to kind of show his hand, that's why I figured he was going to try to overdrive it. And just completely overshot the corner. Just completely overshot the corner. So by me reading that, seeing that move to the right-hand side, and then braking early to cross underneath him, I even overdrove the corner, to be honest. Just less over driving than him led me to get inside there. So I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the tactical side of that one. Not not a terrible race, not a bad start to get back into it. Not the best. Like I said, a lot of unforced errors. Seven just drove a great race. I don't even think if I wouldn't have had unforced errors, if I could have stayed in front of him, he was just quick. Really good props to him for running that fast. You guys can let me know with that contact with the 8 there on lap 14 if that was a bad block on my part, if that was just racing, if he wasn't quite there and shouldn't have expected that line. Love to hear from you guys on that one. So try to hopefully everything works out and I can keep racing. We'll get back to more ovals for week 2. And until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.